What is our, what's the title of our event today? Alam niyo ba yun?
Start your business. Start your business. Start your business.
Okay, start your business right. Okay, primer on business organization. So we have so many, actually we have two best speakers. I should say best because you only find best speakers in the CCF. Uy, kailangan pala humble, ano? Medyo magaling lang, CCF. Pero nga, yun nga, they have so many talks before. Yung mga ating lawyers kasi masyadong mabenta yan no, sa labas, hindi lang sa CCF. Pero ngayon, we have two speakers. They were all lawyers, no? And to discuss yung starting business, siyempre, bibigyan ko ng ng magandang intro. Kasi isa sa mga paborito kong lawyers dito sa CCF. Okay. So, he is practicing corporate labor and civil laws, partner sa Marita Manaloto and Santiago Law Offices. And he is happily married, truly happily married to his lovely wife for 6 years and still counting. And he is a father of one daughter and a follower of Jesus. Maybe call on. Tama naman. Attorney James Santiago. Please give them a round of applause.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Bibigyan ko kayo ng overview para hindi ko sayang yung oras natin. Start your business right. I will discuss yung basic common types of organization na familiar kayo dito sa Pilipinas. Sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation. But in essence, marami pa po kasing business organization na because of the complexity at saka po yung industry natin is revolving. May mga joint venture agreement, may memorandum of agreement, so on and so forth. Marami po yan. Doon na muna tayo sa common. Starting your business right, should I describe it like a journey with the Lord? Para ho yung love life natin. When we engage into business, para rin ho yan naghahanap ka ng lifetime partner. So pag nagkamali ka ng tapak, siguradong lugi ka sa negosyo. Same thing with our relationship with what God wants us to have, yung pinaka-best. So let's begin with the first slide. The title, hindi po yan yun. Kaya po muna natin silang ayusin. So, maganda yung introduction kanina ni Bro Noriel, binigyan niya yung heart. Kasi po, I have a meeting, I think a month ago, with a very popular TV personality. Ang problema niya po, yung kanyang partners. Kasi nagtayo siya ng negosyo with close friends. Hindi ko na babanggitin ang pangalan niya kasi kilala ninyo siya. Kung hindi niyo siya kilala, baka hindi ko kayo taga-Pilipinas. Every day na nakikita niyo siya sa TV. And from the start we sat down, wala na po siyang ginawa sa akin kung hindi magreklamo. And we do not want that to happen when you start your own business. If you are into your business right now, at least pwede po nating maayos. This is the first common organization, single proprietorship. In other words, it's a one-man show type of business. You decide on your own. Iyo ang kapital, iyo ang oras, iyo ang resources, sa'yo lahat. Sino dito mga single? Sa kamay. Yan. Di ba? Parang love life lang ninyo yan. Gigising kayo kung kailan nyo gustong gumising. Matutulog kayo kung kailan nyo gustong matulog. Uuwi kayo kung kailan nyo gustong umuwi. In sole proprietorship, it's similar in a sense that you decide on your own. Wala kang partner na magpapaalam ka pa sa kanya. Anong oras tayo bubukas, anong oras tayo magsasara, anong oras tayo magtitinda, anong ititinda natin. It's because it's a one-man show. That's the essence of single proprietorship. Iyong kapital, pag kumita ka, sa'yo pera, sa'yo ang income. Pag nalugi ka, wala kang kasama. Ganun lang naman din siya. The responsibilities, duties, liabilities, sa'yo lang yun, cargo mo yun. I will discuss this in a non-lawyer language para at least magkaintindihan tayo. Ito ang iyong journey bilang a single proprietor. Nag-iisa ka lang, you may ask friends, but you decide on your own. Advantages. Di-discuss ko yung advantages, disadvantages, and common basic feature ng business organization. Hindi ito yung nasa law books namin. I tried my best na i-present ito sa inyo in a very friendly manner na maiintindihan natin lahat. As I've said earlier, wala kang partner, you run the business your own. So wala kang i-consider na ma-offend kaya siya pag sinabi mo hindi pwede. Second, dahil wala kang partner, may elbow room ka to decide. And syempre, kapag kumita ka, sa'yo lahat yung income. Aside from being a single proprietor, hindi ka required doong formalities and mandatory reportorial requirements ng BIR. Yung may quarterly, may monthly, may annual filing. Kasi pagka single proprietor ka, you are treated by law as an individual person. Yun yung yun yung pinaka-convenience sa'yo. Kasi yung income mo being a single proprietor is treated as your personal income. So, pagka magre-report ka sa BIR, hindi yan masyadong maraming paperworks. Ang disadvantage naman yan is unlimited liability. So, for example, you set up a balut business. Meron kang supplier from Taguig na nagsusupply sa'yo ng, let's say, 5,000 eggs or 5,000 balut every day. It just so happened, hindi na kumikita yung balut, hindi ka makabayad sa supplier. It turned out, nagkagimandahan kayo. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin doon sa supplier mo ng balut, wag mong kukuhanin yung aking kotse. Hindi pwedeng pambayad dyan. Wag mong kukuhanin yung aking house and lot, hindi pwedeng pambayad dyan. No, that's one of the disadvantages ng being a single proprietor. Yung personal asset mo pwedeng habulin ng iyong creditor. So halimbawa, mayroong nangutang sa'yo, sabi niya, nakaregister ako sa DTI, hindi mo pwedeng kunin yung aking kotse, nakapangalan sa akin yan. Ang pangalan ko ay Juan de la Cruz. Ang pangalan ng aking kumpanya is all for his balut services. Hindi pwede ho yun. Kasi sa single prop, all your assets, personal yan, acquired, kasama mo yan sa liability na pwedeng habulin ng creditor mo. Ngayon, pinagpala ka ng Diyos. Lumago yung negosyo mo. We call that happy problem eh. Lumalaki yung iyong network, lumalaki yung iyong distribution services, dumadami yung tao mo. Ngayon, lumalaki na rin yung responsibilities mo dahil maganda yung takbo ng negosyo. That's we call happy problem. Then you ask yourself, do I need a partner? Or should I set up a corporation? Mamaya po, i-discuss ni Attorney Mike yung advantages and disadvantages ng types of corporation sole proprietor tsaka partnership sa labor standard, may mga exemption din po yan. Then you ask this question, what is partnership? So yung single proprietor, ikaw lang ha. And then sa partnership, 2 or more. It's a business organization na 2 or more individual, simple lang, contribute money, resources, skills. Yun muna tandaan natin. Yun yung basic eh. Halimbawa, kaming apat. Sir, ano pangalan mo? Si Yuri, may pera. Sir, Joriel. Si Yuri may pera, si Joriel, may pera siya pero ayaw maglabas. Pero sabi niya, meron akong condo unit, pwede natin i-convert as our office. Sir, anong pangalan mo? Si Mike, may pera, may office, pero ayaw niya i-contribute. Sabi niya, ayoko. Pero, I have the technical expertise. Tayo ng isang virtual office. Ako naman, ako yung lawyer, siyempre. Ganun. Then, we agree. Tayo ng partnership. Yuri will contribute the money, Yuri will contribute the office, si Mike will contribute the skills. That is all. By mere agreement, meron na kaming partnership. Ganun yung kanyang nature ng partnership. Do we need to register it with the SEC? The general rule, it's not a requirement. By mere consent, there is already a partnership. Sa single proprietorship, do you need to register with DTI? The general rule is yes. Pero may exemption at pwede naman hindi. For example, kung balot vendor ka sa gabi, kailangan mo ka bang i-register yun sa gabi? Sa DTI, or yung takatak boys ka lang, itinta ka ng Yossi at saka ng store, may store pa ba ngayon? Hindi mo na kailangan i-register yun. So may exemption. Pero halimbawa, meron kang malaking sari-sari store, yan. Sisilipin ka na talaga ng BIR at saka ng City Hall. No? Types of partners sa partnership. The general, the industrial, the capitalist, and the limited partner. Ano yung general partner? Who is the general partner? Si general partner, halimbawa, si Yuri, dahil siya may pera, sabi niya, ako ang general partner. Kaming tatlo, limited partner lang kami. Ano yung general partner? Siya yung, the pack leader. Siya yung alpha male ng negosyo sa partnership. Bakit? Kasi malaki yung isinugal niya. Malaki yung itinaya niya. Malaki yung investment niya. So I call the shots. Sabi ni Yuri, pag ako nalugi, cargo ko lahat. Yun yung general partner. Second, yung industrial partner, si Mike. Kasi ang kinontribute niya is yung kanyang expertise, yung skills. Pero si Mike, pag nalugi ang negosyo naming apat, hindi siya liable. Yun yung naman kanyang nature. Then you have the capitalist partner. Basic lang naman yung capitalist partner, siya yung nagbigay ng kapital. Or halimbawa, si Mike, nagbigay din siya ng kapital, yung considered as capitalist partner din siya. Pwede siya capitalist at industrial partner. Or pwede siyang mixture of three. Depende yun sa magiging usapan ninyo sa partnership. And then the limited partner. Yung liability niya is limited lamang doon sa investment niya. Let's say kung si Yuri, si Juriel, sabi niya, okay, I will invest 500,000. Pag nalugi ako ng 500,000. Pag nagka-demandahan tayo o na-demanda ang ating partnership, hindi ako pwedeng lumagpas sa 500,000 ang aking sabot sa anumang bayarin ng ating business. There are two types of, ito yung common, the general partnership, kasi kung may general partner, may general partnership. Kung may limited partner, may limited partnership. Basic, Yung partnership, pwede yung i-register sa SEC. Ang tawag po, kung sa corporation may Articles of Incorporation, sa DTI may Certificate of Registration, sa SEC ang tawag naman dito is Article of Partnership. Ang general, balik tayo. Each partner has a total liability for the debts and action of the partnership as a whole. Each partner can take part in the daily management. Pag general partner ka, may say ka sa negosyo. Katulad ni Mike, skills lang siya, wala siyang say sa negosyo. Si Juriel, office lang yung kinontribute niya, limited partner lang siya, wala rin siyang management authority. Pero si Yuri, dahil sa general partner, siya yung big boss. Ganun sa partnership. Pero if we decide na kaming apat will all be general partners, we call the shots. We represent each other sa mga, let's say, distributors namin o sa mga kliyente namin. Limited partnership. Ay, asset. Ito yung disadvantage ng general partnership. Para siyang sole proprietor. Kasi sa sole proprietorship, pag nalugi ang negosyo, hinabol ka ng creditor mo, pati personal assets mo, pwedeng malevy or pwedeng gamitin pambayad. Limited. Sa limited partnership naman, similar lang naman siya ng limited partner. Yung liability niya is up to the extent of the investment. Na nasusundan po ba? O masyado kong mabilis? Ganun sa ganun sa partnership. Actually, there are instances na kung saan, halimbawa, nagtayo ako ng negosyo, i-register ko sa DTI, tapos may kaibigan ako. Abang, ano pangalan mo? So, si Rowena, best friend kami since, nursery. Kahit wala pang nursery noong 1980s. Tapos sabi sa akin ni Rowena, gusto kong mag-invest sa negosyo mo. Magbibigay ako ng 1 million. Actually, in essence, that's partnership. Pero sa totoo lang po, ito yung combo, no? I-re-register ko sa DTI, ako lang mag-isa, pangalan ko lang. Pero partner ko pala siya. Ang tawag doon, itinatagong relasyon. Ayun. I have a client, small size construction firm. Yung kliyente ko ay engineer, ni-register niya sa DTI yung kanyang kumpanya, yung kanyang business. Pero totoo no, meron siyang partner na isa. Yung partner niyang isa, walang kinontribute yun, ni 5 duling. Pero pareho sila kapampangan, pareho sila ng, hindi ko alam kung pag-sasmuan yata sila pareho. For the longest time, 30 years, in the construction business, magkaibigan sila. Itong si Engineer A, siya ang namuhunan, si Engineer B, ang ginagawa lang niya maghanap ng kliyente. Lahat ng paperwork kanya, lahat ng lalakarin sa opisina ng gobyerno kanya. May mga instances ganun yung setup natin sa mga kaibigan natin. Legal-wise, naka-register ka sa DTI as single prop, pero in essence, you have a partner. Maraming ganung instances, yun yung mga itinatagong relasyon. Then, lumago na yung, from being a single prop, kumuha ka ng partner, lumago na yung negosyo mo. Then you decide, register kaya natin sa SEC, mag-set up tayo ng corporation. Ito yung basic definition ng corporation. Yung attributes. Next slide. Ito yung tatandaan ninyong attributes ng corporation. Artificial being created with operation of law, with right of succession, powers, attributes, and properties as expressly authorized by law or incidentally to its existence. Ano yung artificial being? Muna ako Ang single prop at saka partnership, sa mata ng batas, you are treated as an individual person. Kaya nga, assets and your personal assets can be used to defray the obligations of your business liabilities. Yun yung disadvantage ng single prop. Sa corporation, yung artificial being na kine-create ng law, let's say, San Miguel Corporation, meron siyang tinatawag na juridical personality. Yung juridical personality na yon, separate siya doon sa kanyang investors, shareholders, officers, incorporators. Ang utang ni San Miguel ay utang ni San Miguel, hindi mo yan pwedeng singilin sa personal assets ng danding kukuha mo. Ang utang ni Jollibee ay utang ni Jollibee. Hindi mo yan pwedeng singilin kay Tony Tan Takyong. Ang utang ni Philippine Airlines ay utang ni Philippine Airlines. Hindi mo yan pwedeng singilin sa personal assets and properties ni Lucio Tan. So pag nagtayo ka ng kumpanya, ma'am, anong pangalan niyo? Let's say, St. Mary Corporation. Pagka nagkaroon ng kaso, lahat sabi ng labor, St. Mary Corporation, bayaran mo ang iyong empleyado ng 1 million. Ako yung empleyado, hindi ko pwedeng singilin si Sister Mary at hahatakin ko yung kanyang limousine na nakaregister sa pangalan niya. Hindi pwede yun. That's the artificial being. It is only created by law. Let's say, kami, itong grupong to, we set up a company, hindi ibig sabihin by mere agreement, kumpanya na kami. Hindi katulad ditong partnership, by mere agreement, we already created a partnership. Whether we register it with SEC or not, we already have a partnership. Hindi yan pwede sa corporation. Sa corporation, meron ka lang artificial being once the articles of incorporation, yung certificate of registration issued by the SEC is given to you. Pirmado ni Atty. Sales. Pero kapag hindi mo pa siya hawak, hindi pa siya ini-issue sa ng SEC, kahit nagbayad ka na ng registration fee na 4,000 something, hindi ka pa kumpanya o hindi mo pa legally na i-register yung iyong kumpanya. Ano yung with right of succession? Kasi sa single prop, pag namatay ka, tiglop ang negosyo. It does not exist. Sa partnership, we created a partnership kasi may tiwala ako sa tatlong to. Nagtiwala rin sila sa akin. So it based on mutual trust. Pagka nawala si Mike, dissolve ang partnership. Ganun lang kasimple. Sa corporation, pag namatay ang isa, dire-diretso pa rin yung kumpanya. Yung kanyang existence, being a corporation, will continue regardless of whoever dies. Kasi meron siyang artificial being na hiwalay doon sa kanyang incorporators. Yun yung right of succession. May namatay, may nag-resign, may na-ICU, dire-diretso pa rin siya mag-exist. And then meron siyang powers, attributes, properties expressly authorized by law. Halimbawa, yung St. Mary's Corporation engaged into a tracking, pwede siyang bumili ng lupa registered under the name of St. Mary Corporation. Hindi under the name noong ni Sister Mary. So pag tinanong, kaninong lupa yan? Sa kumpanya. Nasaan ang titulo? Ito, registered under the name of St. Mary Corporation. Yung kanyang powers, ano yun? Engage into memorandum of agreement, enter into a contract on the name of the corporation. Hindi katulad sa single prop individual or treated as individual yung inyong relationship. Yun yung pagkakaiba ng single prop sa corporation tsaka sa partnership. 2 times, dalawa lang naman, stock at saka non-stock. Simple lang ho yung pagkakaiba niya. Ang stock, kinreate mo siya para kumita ng pera. At yung pera kinita mo, i-distribute mo doon sa mga investor, shareholders. Kung kami yan, pag kumita kami, yung dividendo paghahati-hatian namin, that's stock corporation. Ang non-stock, hindi. Pag kumita ng pera yan, hindi nyo paghahatian yung income. Walang dividend distribution. Yung income is used for the development, improvement of the organization for which it is created. For example, ang CCF is a non-stock corporation kasi we are a religious organization. Whatever quote-unquote income derived therein, yan ay ginagamit pang, let's say, we have buildings, we have air-conditioned rooms, we have so on and so forth. Pero walang income na dinidistribute sa members. So walang stock certificate, walang dividend distribution. Ganun lang po kasimple yung yung pagkakaiba. Purpose, yan yun. Na-discuss ko na yan. To make profit, non-stock. Pag sinabing non-stock, pwedeng educational, pwedeng professional, so on and so forth. Yung bang educational, pwede maging stock, corporation? Pwede. Basta yung kita ng school, paglahatian ninyong mga investors. Ayaw mo ng stock corporation kasi you will be charged of income tax by the government, particularly by the BIR. Gawin mo non-stock, pero hindi ka pwede mag-declare ng dividends. Ganun po yun. Personality, as I've discussed earlier, separate siya from its investors, stockholders, incorporators, so on and so forth. So the liability of the corporation is not extendable to the owners, to the officers. Ito yung advantages of forming a corporation. Number 1, separate liabilities, na-discuss ko na yan. Kapag na-demanda si kumpanya, hindi damay ang officers. Second, investors. Remember ninyo bakit this past few years ang daming initial familiar kayo sa stocks? Di ba may initial public offering? Pag kumpanya ka and you want to raise capital, you can first you have to register with the IPO. Kailangan nyo munang sa stock market para makapag-float ka ng bond. So, para makapag-raise ng capital. Yan po ang ginagawa ng Ayala, ni Henry C., ng mga Gokong Wave. If they want to expand their business, magpo-float lang sila ng bond, mag-o-offer sila ng stocks. Bibili ka, at yung income, yun yung gagamitin nitong mga business tycoons na to pang expand ng business nila. As simple as that. So, pera ng ibang tao ang ginagamit nila para mag-expand sila ng business. In fact, there are instances na yung in-invest mo, yung pinambili mo ng stock, ang ipambabayad nila ng utang nila. Yun yung isa sa mga advantages if you are a company. Taxes, mamaya i-discuss ko yung yung benefit ng taxes. May mga benefits kasi if you are a company registered sa BOI, PEZA, tsaka sa economic zone, special economic zone. May mga income tax holiday yan. Meron pang MCIT, tama ba yun? Minimum Income Corporate Tax. Para 3 years na pwedeng hindi ka meron kang tax holiday. Never-ending business. Ito yung perpetual existence. Let's say, common naman to, di ba? Si first generation, si Lolo nagtayo ng kumpanya, ni nana ni tatay. Namatay na si lolo, si tatay naman ang nabuhay, pero yung kumpanya nag-exist. So, namatay na si tatay, siya ang una ang nagmana, nag-exist pa rin yung kumpanya. So, dire-diretso pa rin. Credibility, ito off the record to. Pag nag-apply ka ng US visa, minsan to prove them sa ang US Embassy na hindi ka mag-TTNT, pakita mo lang yung Certificate of Incorporation that you own a company, medyo makukonvince mo na yung consul na may negosyo to sa Pilipinas. So you have a credibility na hindi to magtatanong. Babalik to kasi may negosyo. So somehow there's a semblance of credibility if you own a company. Basic lang po yung dinidiscuss ko kasi pag ginawa mong nitty-gritty yan, wala mo isang araw. Sad to say, hindi po mura o hindi libre ang mag-register ng kumpanya. In fact, you need a lawyer and accountant para sigurado. Paperwork, napakadami. Hindi ko katulad sa single prop. Parang, it's a one-man show. You decide, you disagree, you approve, you hire, you terminate, you hold the shots. No paperwork needed. Sa kumpanya, may mga board resolution. Tapos, every year, magpa-file ka ng audited financial statement, general information sheet. Pag bibili ka ng properties, let's say lote, kailangan may board resolution. Sa single prop, wala akong board resolution. Na nag-meeting kayo ng sarili mo. Ikaw ang presidente, ikaw rin ang corporate secretary. Walang gano'n sa single prop. Ang disadvantage din niya sa BIR, yung mga nasa company na rito, you will agree with me, maraming reportorial requirements na hinihingi si BIR if you are into a corporate business activity. Si Mrs. Si Annie is an accountant. Alam niya yan kasi marami siyang hawak na kumpanya. So pag April, masakit na ulo niya. Kasi yung maghahabol ka ng mga deadlines. Aside from that, di ba, may monthly, may quarterly, may annual pa yan. So pag kumpanya, no choice kundi kumuha ng accountant. So another expenses yun. Bigyan po natin ng distinction ang corporation at saka partnership. Ang corporation can be created only by law. Partnership, by mere agreement. Meron ka ng partnership. Ang corporation, minimum 5 incorporators, hindi pwedeng 4. Yung pang 5, hindi naman po pwedeng yung iyong apo na 7 years old. Kailangan 14 years old and above. Ang partnership, 2, 3, okay na kayo, pwede na. Ang corporation, as long as it is expressly authorized by law, pwede. If not, hindi pwede. Ano yung example? Let's say you are into a trucking business. St. Mary Corporation and Funeral Services. Hindi mo pwede yun. Kasi kailangan mong iugnay yung trucking business mo doon sa funeral services. Ang hirap naman nun, mananagasa ka na mananagasa para doon ka sa... So what is expressly provided for by law? If you are into a real estate, hanggang real estate ka lang. Hindi ka pwedeng lumipat ng iba. Let's say into defense and ammunition industry na mala Tony Stark. Ang partnership, as long as it is not contrary to law, morals, good custom, public policy, public order, pwede. So may elbow room si partnership. Ang corporation can only act through its board of directors or board of trustees. Let's say, si Mike, siya yung presidente, for example lang, si Mike, siya presidente ng kumpanya namin, tapos sabi niya, bumili na ako ng lupa. Doon tayo magtatayo ng ating malaking building. Hindi pwede sa corporation yon. Kasi kailangan may board resolution. So that's null and void kung si Mike lang ang mag-design. Pagdating naman sa partnership, if there is no agreement to the contrary, valid. Di ba? May elbow room pagka partnership. Yung right of succession, the general rule, perpetual yung right of succession niya. Ang partnership kasi based on mutual trust and confidence. Pag namatay ang isa, dissolve ang partnership. Okay? Number 6. Si stockholder, limbawa si Ma'am Rowena, tama po ba? Gusto niya nang i-transfer yung kanyang 10 million shares of stocks sa kanyang paboritong apo, pwede. Sa partnership, because it is based on mutual trust and confidence, hindi niya pwedeng ilipat yun basta-basta. Kasi you are bringing in a new partner na hindi namin kilala. Sino yan? Hindi namin siya pinagkakatiwalaan. So, sa partnership, hindi pwede. For obvious reason, hindi nyo pwede gawin yan sa single prop. Na ililipat nyo yung share ninyo sa kanang kamay papuntang kaliwang kamay. Parang niloloko nyo lang sa sarili ninyo. 7. The liability of the stockholders or members limited only to the extent of their subscription. Pag sinabi nyo ang subscription, that's in layman's term the amount of your investment. Let's say, nag-subscribe ka ng 10 million worth of shares, hanggang 10 million lang yung iyong liability sa company. Sa partnership, pro rata. Let's say, 4 kami, nalugi kumpanya, nagkaroon kami ng utang na 1 million, divided by 4. Ganun yun. Pero dahil may general partner kami, si Yuri, o sagot niya lahat yun. Si Julian, may limited partner namin siya up to the extent of his liability. So si creditor, bahala na siya kung sino hahabulin niya. Pero hindi niya makahabol si Mike kasi si Mike, industrial partner. Skills lang and expertise lang yung pinontribute niya. So, part siya ng income pero hindi siya kasama pag nalugi kami. Parang unfair, di ba? That's partnership. Yun yung nature. Naalaw yun ang patas. Ito yung sinasabi ko. PESA registered companies. For example, malaking-malaki ka na. Saan ba maganda magtayo ng business? The general rule, yung 30% na sinisingil sa atin ng BIR as corporate income tax, medyo malaki. Ngayon, ang ginagawa ko sa mga kliyente ko, let's say, lumapit sa'yo, iba naman. Ma'am, anong pangalan mo? Kay. O si Kay, may lumapit sa kanya, mga Koreans. Kay, anong profession mo, ma'am? Events. Magdadala kami rito ng mga K-pop artists. Event siya, pero kailangan niyang magtayo ng company, pero gusto niya makamenos ng taxes. Pwede niyang sabihin sa kanyang mga kliyente, kung gusto niyo magtayo kayo ng company, i-register niyo sa PESA. Pero may qualification to, hindi ho lahat pwede mag-register sa PESA. Common manufacturing, mga garments, damit, electronics, ganyan, yung mga furnitures, pero lahat yun, 80% must be hindi sa export. Yung 20% iiwan dito, pwede ibenta locally. By 4 years ka na income tax holiday for non-pioneer, 6 years naman sa pioneer. Pagka non-pioneer, yun yung mga common. As I said earlier, garments. Marami na nagka-garments. Non-pioneer. Pero pag sinabi mong pioneer project, let's say gusto mo magtayo ng kumpanya na tricycle na tumatakbo sa pamamagitan ng tubig baha. That's pioneer project. Pioneer enterprise. Wala pa nun sa Pilipinas. Baka kayo pala. So, meron kang 6 years na income tax holiday, ibibigay ng government. Upon expiration ng ITH, meron kang 5% special tax on gross income and exemption from all national and local taxes. 10 minutes. Tapos, tax and duty-free importation of raw materials, capital equipment, machineries, and spare parts. Let's say, magtatayo, common na lang para maka-relate tayo. Garments factory, gusto mo mag-import ng mga sewing machine, cutting machine, tapos yung lahat pa ng raw materials, tela, sinulid, karayo, i-import mo sa ibang bansa, libre. Yun yung benefit isa sa mga benefits ng PESA. Tapos exemption from wharfage use and export tax imposed for fees. So, another exemption kapag PESA registered ka. Common PESA registered sa atin dito sa Metro Manila call center, yung mga BPO. So, may mga PESA buildings tayo na pagka nandun ka nag-office, you can avail of the PESA tax holidays. Bakit? Ito pa yung isang exemption. Ito, sino dito mga accountant? Wala. For the information ng mga business owners, if you are PESA registered, pinagtatalunan to ng LGU at saka ng PESA. Kasi sabi sa batas, exempted ka sa national and local taxes. But the truth is, in real practice, nag-i-impose pa rin ng local business tax at saka real property tax ang munisipyo at city hall. Exemption from expanded withholding tax. Tapos yan, may mga exemption din. Iba yung PESA, iba yung BOI ha. Yung PESA registered companies, yan yung nasa loob ng economic zone. Katulad ng Cavite Export Processing Zone. Sa Laguna Technopark. Yan, marami yan. Yan yung nasa loob ng economic zone. Pag BOI registered ka, wala ka sa loob ng economic zone, pero nag-apply ka sa DTI. Under kasi ng DTI ang Board of Investment. Pwede ka mag-apply naman ng tax holiday sa kanila. Ito naman yung benefits niya. 3 to 8 years, ITH, local business tax, 4 to 6 year period, tapos an equity investment in a Philippine corporation. Normally, ang pinapayagan ng BOI, based on my experience, hanggang 5 years. Kasi kailangan mo na siyang i-justify on the 6, 7, 8 year. Bakit?
Thank you very much, Attorney James. So, marami tayo natutunan, ano? Pero dahil dyan, sabi ko nga kanina, na dalawa lang yung speakers natin, di ba?